I was in my room reading a book, Thin Red Line, when the mortars started coming down. Sergeant Horrocks ripped open the door and yelled, "Grab your guys and go to the motor pool. The whole battalion is rolling out." Holy shit, the whole battalion. This must be big. One by one, the strikers were rolling out of the motor pool, ready to hunt down whoever was fucking with us. Soldiers in the hatches of the vehicles were hooting and hollering, yelling their war cries, doing the Indian yell thing as they locked and loaded their weapons. As we headed north up Route Tampa, I was sticking out of my hatch behind the 50 cal, and I glanced over to the left side of the vehicle, at which time I observed a man dressed in all black with a terrorist beard jump out all of a sudden from the side of a building. He pointed his AK-47 barrel right at my fucking pupils. I froze. And then a split second later, I saw the fire from his muzzle flash leaving the end of his barrel, brass shell casings exiting the side of his AK as he was shooting directly at me. I heard and felt the bullets whiz literally inches from my head, hitting all around my hatch and making a ping, ping, ping sound. All of a sudden, all hell came down around us. All these guys wearing all black, a couple dozen on each side of the street, on rooftops, alleys, edge of buildings, out of windows, everywhere, started unloading on us. AK fire and multiple RPGs were flying at us from every single fucking direction. IEDs were being ignited on both sides of the street. I kinda lost it and was yelling and screaming all sorts of things, mostly cuss words. I fired the 50 cal all over the place, shooting everything. With RPGs still flying, our driver floored it, pedal to the metal, redlined the vehicle right through the ambush as fast as he could. Finally, we fired our way out of the kill zone and made our way to Bridge 5. We parked the vehicles there and dismounted. Then, after a couple minutes, we were told to load up and go back to where we got ambushed. I literally felt sick to my stomach. It felt like throwing up. My gut, my body, my mind, my soul, my penis, my balls were all telling me loud and clear not to go back. I was scared to death, but we had to go back. And we did. We rolled back to the area where we just dodged death. We were taking fire from all over. I fired and fired and fired and fired and fired at everything. We were running low on 50 cal ammunition at this point. My platoon sergeant, Sergeant Horner, told me to reload the 50 cal with more ammo. He told me the ammo was strapped down on the outside of the vehicle over on the right side. Why the fuck would the ammo for the 50 cal be on the outside of the vehicle? With my hands, I did the sign of the cross on my chest. Please God, I don't want to fucking die. And as my platoon sergeant laid down some suppressive fire, I got up out of the hatch, got my whole body completely out of the vehicle, and went over, grabbed a couple green metal boxes of ammunition. I was shaking, scared out of my fucking mind as I did this. Sporadic gunfire was going off. I was saying to myself, hurry the fuck up. Once I got back inside my hatch, I threw the ammo boxes down, reloaded the 50 cal, thinking to myself that having the ammo located on the outside of the vehicle has got to be the dumbest fucking idea in the world. And whoever thought of that idea should be fucking shot. I saw a crowd of people suspiciously peeking around a corner at us. I pointed this out to Sergeant Horner. As he was shooting non-stop from his hatch, he told me to just fucking shoot him, and he briefly explained to me these people have no fucking business out on the street whatsoever. So I pointed the crosshairs right at him. Then I moved it to right above their heads and fired a burst, which got them to disperse in a hurry. I could tell that they were just spectators. Down in the hatch, I was frantically scanning my sector when suddenly, about 300 meters away from us, I saw two guys with those red and white jihad towels wrapped around their heads, creeping around the corner. They were hunched down, hiding behind a stack of truck tires. I placed the crosshairs right on them and was about to fucking waste them. For some reason, I didn't pull the trigger. These guys were not dressed in black like the guys earlier, and from what I could see, they didn't have any weapons on them. Something told me I should wait for just 1, maybe 2 more seconds. Then I saw another guy come creeping around that corner with an RPG in his hands. As soon as I saw that, I screamed as loud as I could, "RPG!" My crosshairs were bouncing all over, so I gathered my composure as fast as I could, put the crosshairs on him, and engaged him with a couple good 10-round bursts of some 50 cal right at him. Nobody moved from behind those tires after that. We had to return to Fob Merez as we were running extremely low on fuel, ammo, and water, so we all mounted up and drove back to the Fob. I was smoking like a chimney. My nerves were completely shot. I was emotionally drained, and I noticed that my hands were still kind of shaking. The stars were now out over Mosul, and I decided to go sit by myself and stare at them for a while. I was thinking how I was lucky to be alive. I've never experienced anything like the fear I felt today. I thought about that guy who jumped out from the corner of that building with that angry look on his face when he pointed the AK at my head and pulled the trigger. Sergeant Vance saw me sitting by myself, and he came over and sat next to me. He asked if I was okay. I thought about that one for a second. I told him, I don't know. He bummed a smoke and said, "Are you sure?" I told him how I wasn't really in the mood to roll back out for another inning with these guys, and I also told him that I was kind of tripping out about how not everybody that I engaged today had a weapon in their hands, and that I wasn't really too sure about what happened to some of those people. Vance started telling me a little bit about his father, who'd been in Vietnam, and who had given him sound advice about situations like this. Put all the things that bother you and keep you awake at night and clog your head up. Put all those things in a shoebox. Put the lid on it and deal with it later. I walked back to my room, thanked God, passed out on my bed. I've put the events of that day in a shoebox, put the lid on it. I haven't opened it since.